Hi, and welcome back to Football Made Simple. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal hosted Solskjaer's United in the Premier League. With both teams recently in good form, it promised to be a fascinating encounter. In the end, it was a closely contested draw, with Ole and Arteta punching and counter-punching. The XG indicated United had the better chances, 0.75 to 1.51, with CAVANI alone having an XG of over 1. The XG time map showed that initially Arsenal looked dangerous, with United coming strong in the second half. But what tactics did both managers use? Let's take a look. A quick reminder of the formations used by both sides, as seen on the OneFootball app. OneFootball will get you match updates, formation updates, as well as player and team stats, and so much more. And the best part is, you can get it absolutely free through the sponsored link in the description below. Let's start with what the home side looked to do in possession. Whenever possible, Arsenal looked to begin short, with Leno looking to find a centre-back. United could look to press high up at times, led by Fernandes joining Cavani to create a 2 vs 2 against the centre-backs, whilst one of Fred or McTominay would look to pick up Arsenal's ball-side pivot. When PARTEY in particular got onto the ball, he was willing to take risks, looking to turn his man where he would then have space to attack, with Smith Rowe either taking up the remaining pivot, or if the United pivot came across, PARTEY could then look to find Smith Rowe in the hole, particularly when both pivots were pressing high. However, we did see the flip side at times, with PARTEY looking to turn his man but being dispossessed, meaning that United could quickly transition as they had men high from pressing. And higher on the build-up, when Fernandes also pushed higher to press, potentially leaving an Arsenal pivot free to receive, it was often RASHFORD who looked to tuck in to pick up the second pivot, to prevent central progression, and the Gunners only managed to use the centre of the pitch 23% of the time. This could, of course, leave Wan-Bissaka 2 vs 1 down at times if the switch came across quickly. However, he's the best defensive fullback in the league, meaning that he could hold up the play long enough to give RASHFORD time to recover. But Arsenal also looked to adapt to the 2 vs 2 press. This could be by Cedric staying deeper to form the back three, with Martinelli staying wide to provide the option 1 vs 1 with Wan-Bissaka if RASHFORD was more central on Xhaka. Smith Rowe was crucial to the deep progression at times, dropping deep comfortably to be the extra midfielder, and as Fernandes was high, he could get time on the ball to turn and progress it. However, most commonly it was Xhaka who would look to drop into the left centre-back position to cause the 3 vs 2 advantage. This would give Cedric more offensive freedom to push high up, and Martinelli could then move into the half space to draw in the fullback. And Cedric was able to get some crosses in, but with just Lacazette to aim for, and usually crossing with his weak foot, this was unlikely to bring much success. In the end, United maintained a solid defensive shape, dropping into a deep 4-4-2 and compressing the space between the lines, which as discussed forced Arsenal wide, where they were less effective due to only having one weak aerial target in the box. But as United created the higher quality chances, let's take a look at what they did in possession. United were also able to build up short, with the centre-back splitting and the pivots dropping deeper to provide options. And Arsenal at times could press high with a similar shape, with Smith Rowe joining Lacazette and Xhaka or Partey pushing onto the ball side pivot. But on the right hand side, Martinelli, instead of picking up Wan-Bissaka, was often drawn central to Lindelof, which caused Arsenal problems. When the ball then went wide to Wan-Bissaka, if the pivot pushed out to cover, United's own pivot would then be free to then often look for a switch. But if it was Cedric who backed up the press, it meant that RASHFORD could drop deep, dragging LUIZ out of position and creating potential space for Cavani to move into. Fernandes also often looked to operate deep in the inside channel in order to help and create a man advantage on the right, particularly when Martinelli was caught higher up. And again, the wide areas were crucial for United, so down the left they also had interesting mechanisms. Initially, when Pogba started wide left, he looked to tuck infield to look to cause the overload there, as Arsenal operated with a deep 4-4-2, so having an extra man could drag a midfielder out of position. But there was a difference when Martial took up the left wing position and Pogba moved deeper. Instead of cutting into the midfield, Martial looked to push up alongside Cavani to be the second forward, and we often saw them combine well here. This meant that Shaw had to push even higher up and earlier to provide the width. This then created space for Maguire to push in, almost as an extra midfielder, to then create space for others higher up. This is illustrated perfectly for Cavani's first big chance. Maguire pushes high up, temporarily drawing Lacazette, whilst Martial is the secondary forward with Shaw wide. Lacazette, momentarily occupied by Maguire, allows the pass infield, which eventually leads to Shaw's cross. And Shaw's influence was generally impressive, making dangerous runs as well as getting crosses in, and he ended with 12 attempted crosses, including set pieces. And with Martial on, and having two forwards, crosses became a bigger threat. Wan-Bissaka also pushed up high on the right hand side, meaning that Rashford, Cavani and Martial were often attacking the box, and we did see crossing from the fullbacks lead to a big chance for Cavani. But, understandably, shapes like this left United vulnerable on the break, where Arsenal looked dangerous. This was often with Lacazette dropping deep between the lines, with the wingers pushing the defence deeper. He or Smith Rowe would then look to play in a man, and this led to several promising situations, particularly for Pepe, but it was to no avail. Overall, United will feel hard done by to only come away with a point, although Arsenal look good at certain points as well. The downside is that City have now extended their lead at the top. But what did you make of this match? Drop it down in the comments below. A quick shout out to my Patreons for helping to make this video possible. If you want to support, head on over to patreon.com/footballmadesimple and you'll get rewards like early access to videos and exclusive content. And a special thanks to Matthew for helping to support Football Made Simple on Patreon. But that's all for today, and remember, keep it simple.